is an ongoing conversation around real estate, affordable housing, and pulling all of this information close. So as we discuss closing the racial wealth gap. Today, I'm happy to have a team of real estate professionals here to share their expertise. And so I want to welcome to the show three amazing real estate professionals. Evans Saint-Gerard has over 10 years of experience working with clients in real estate, a seasoned professional with a unique blend of Wall Street Journal insights and mortgage industry acumen, ensures every deal resonates with value. Dean Graber has been a seasoned real estate professional since 2011 with a keen focus on achieving optimal outcomes for sellers. As a senior real estate specialist with expertise in short sales and foreclosures, and as a certified military relocation professional, he ensures that clients navigate complex situations with ease. And Tashana Mamram, with over a decade of experience in retail sales and successful entrepreneurial background, Tashana is a detail-oriented, proactive, and disciplined professional in the real estate industry. As a seller, she utilizes cutting-edge technology, collaborative teamwork, and Keller Williams' superior marketing resources to secure the best price in the shortest time. As a buyer, she arms you with the latest market insights to become a well-informed and confident negotiator. Welcome to the show, team.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Pat, thank you so much for inviting us to be on here.
Wonderful.
Hi, everyone.
Wonderful. Welcome. I'm so excited to have all of this expertise at the table. So when we think about, housing, home ownership, there seems to be a lot of discussion around the unbelief in the fact that affordable housing options really exist. What can you offer the tri-state around this conversation? Let's start with you, Evans.
Well, the first thing is I want people to understand basically there is affordable, understanding the market, there is affordable housing out there. There's lots of options. You just have to take your time, sit down. This is the important thing. You have to sit down with the professionals and go through a consultation, just like you would do with a doctor. You're doing a physical, it's the same thing. You're doing a financial workout, and you're sitting down with your realtor, you're sitting down with your loan officer, so you understand physically, mentally, everything that it comes to when you're purchasing a house.
Yeah.
You have to feel comfortable what you're paying monthly. That's the main thing. And a lot of people, they just go into it, hey, fantasy, I want to buy a house, but they don't really sit there and invest the time to focus on what does that actually mean, how much am I actually paying a month. And you have to feel comfortable with that. That's one of the main
and that can be a little bit intimidating. First of all, just coming to the table and talking about your own personal finances,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
To people that you are hoping have your best interest. But thank you for sharing that. So Dean, when we think about first-time home buyers, how can they best prepare for that education so that they are not scammed or taken advantage of? Because that is a real thing.
Okay, the best way to prepare is to ask the professionals, ask people that are in the industry right now for recommendations and for referrals. Speak to a loan officer, a qualified loan officer at a mortgage lender, speak to a professional realtor. We highly suggest right now in the market that people meet face-to-face, in person, ask all your questions, have everything written out. There's a lot of research that you can do on the internet, obviously, but it's very important to meet a qualified person who's well-respected and well-versed in the industry right now and get all the ins and the outs from the realtor and from the mortgage loan officer and also from a real estate attorney that's recommended.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
All right, there's also, I like to say basically leveraging workshops and seminars. There's tons of seminars out there. You have to do your own research, go to the seminars. There's lots of stuff available on YouTube. Once you do that research for yourself, when you feel comfortable enough, and you see a professional, and you're like, all right, this is the professional I want to work with, you're interviewing that professional. So you're interviewing them also. When you're ready to make that move, you reach out to that professional or professionals, and you take the next step. And it's not just you meet face to face. You can also meet on Zoom as well. So there's also options. It's not just face to face. There's more than one option now.
Right. And so Tashana, when you think about people who are just consistently complaining about affordable housing, right? And they're dealing with sellers, right? You want to sell the space, you want to sell the home. How do you get them to a place where you can influence them that you're not just a seller, you can help them understand market value, homeownership? How do you do that? How do you manage that process?
That's a great question, Pat. It's all about educating people and finding their motivation, right? So if you are not owning a home, you're renting, you are paying somebody's mortgage, it's just not yours. So that's why we like to sit and have people, as Evan said, do their financial, physical, see exactly what they can afford. And there's three things we tell people when they're buying. You have price, location, and the affordability. So where exactly are you and where do you need to be? And we work with people, even long term, we work with people to get them to where they need to be. Maybe it's credit score, maybe they need to pay off some stuff, and finding the right team that has patience and offers value to you is the number one thing you can do for yourself.
And thank you for sharing that. And if you are just joining, you are listening to Pat Robinson Conversations on the Block, and I'm gonna figure out a name for this team, the real estate professionals that are just.
We're known as Team NWE.
Team NWE.
Dean,
So-
you wanna tell them why we're named as Team NWE?
Okay, our latest incarnation of it is because of what it is, it's nonstop work ethic.
Team NWE, nonstop work ethic. And that's really important, and thank you for sharing that. And I will say, Tri-State, their energy is phenomenal. Dean, I have a question. You specialize in short sales and foreclosures.
Right.
Tell us what the market looks like right now.
Okay, well, right now, because home values have appreciated, there are not that many short sales or foreclosures right now.
Good.
There's times when there's more, but that's not a good thing. Right now, it is a good thing. If somebody is a little bit stuck, or a little bit behind, or a little bit pressed by their housing expense, most likely, they have equity in their home, and they can sell it and walk away with some money in their pocket. So we're not really experiencing right
Good.
now short sales and foreclosures.
That's awesome.
But that's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And so, like, I'm gonna shift and I wanna talk about equity, because for homeowners who've heard the term, may not know how to utilize equity, Evans, talk to us about equity in the home, what it means, and when should people activate that?
That's an individual thing. It's not, I can't answer one thing for everybody. It
Okay.
really depends on the person's situation. But it's definitely, for us as a team, what we like to do with our clients is pretty much every year, we do analysis. Hey, here's how much equity that you have. This is how much equity that you have in your property right now, since you purchased it about a year ago, 2 years ago. Here's how much equity you have right now. Now, with this information, it's up to you what you want to do with it. Do you want to tap into it? Do you want to use this money, this extra money, basically for your kids, bring them to college? Or it really depends on the situation for the particular person at that moment,
Yeah.
where they are in their life right now. When we have the conversation, we're asking them questions, thorough questions, to see what they need to, what they actually need. And then here's what the equity that you have, and we'll discuss basically what your options are. So
Yeah.
each person's gonna be different.
And so for the education part of that, for maybe new homeowners or homeowners who just really don't understand the process, equity is the value. Can you explain it? And
All right. Equity is, you take the value of your home minus what you owe on that home if you were gonna pay it off or sell it. So everything else is yours. It's your equity, it's your interest in the home, your profit in the home. I shouldn't say profit, but it's
Right.
it's the amount of money that you have in that home, in that property. And equity can give you leverage to do a lot of different things. Like Evans was saying, whether you wanna use it to pay a school loan or send a child or somebody to college, or to buy an
Or
investment
graduate
home.
school. Let's be honest, a graduate school.
right, so in essence, you can borrow against
Yes.
Yes.
what you have in there. And ultimately, then does that put you in a space where you're refinancing your I
Yeah.
wanna get to that piece.
Okay, so you can, well, right now, refinancing right now is mostly for people who have debt to pay off, as long as the debt is higher than the current mortgage interest rate. It doesn't matter where mortgage rates are at the moment, just if the interest rate on your debt is higher than where the mortgage interest is, then it might make sense for you to refinance to pay off that debt. The other thing besides refinancing, which is really paying off your existing first mortgage and replacing it with a new first mortgage on your home at the current terms. That's what a refinance is. Normally, you can borrow up to 80% of the value of the home. The other option to get equity out is you can take our second mortgage or a home equity line of credit. It works it's exactly that. The bank would say, based on the appraisal and based on your income, that you're eligible to borrow, let's say, up to $50,000, just using an amount. and you write checks and you use it as you need it. And it could be to pay other debt, for travel, for a down payment on an investment home or a second home, or like Evans was saying, to pay for graduate school or college.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And so, to Shonda, a quick question. A lot of people, we're in this state where there are a lot of people that are interested in real estate. You can go and take your 77 hours, take your tests, apply, take the state exam, become a licensed salesperson. But it's so much more than that. Talk to us about, for all of the people who may be interested in this field, what is it that is the magic ingredient? Because after you get that salesperson license, you have to then ultimately get a sponsoring broker, right?
Exactly. And in real estate, good luck is spelled W-O-R-K. Because we work really hard behind the scenes, and a lot of people, like, they look at you and it's like, oh my gosh, you're so blessed, or you guys are doing so well. But we work really hard. Like, we work on almost equally.
What were we doing today right before we came here about your Monday appointment?
Exactly. We had 2 walkthroughs, we had 2 closings, but then we're behind the scenes, like, it's so much. And one thing, there's a lot of moving parts. So what I would tell people who want to get into real estate, it's a beautiful career. You have to be tenacious, and you have to work.
Got it.
And one thing I would say is, as long as you're true to yourself and you're true to your clients, and they see that you look out for their best interest, people gravitate towards you because they realize that, you know what, we're not here just for the money. We have a bigger purpose that we're serving.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
You have to be disciplined. You'll know within the first couple of months if you're disciplined, and you have to have an open mindset. Have to be willing to learn. If you're not willing to do any of those things, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You have to be constantly, regardless of how many years you have in this business, it's just like anything else in life. You have to put work into it. The more work you put into it, the more you're going to see it's going to come back to you, especially like Tashana said, your clients are going to see that, hey, this person doesn't have commission, but they actually care about my family.
Yeah.
A lot of our clients are repeat clients. They not only referred us to themselves, to their coworkers, but they've also sent Nana over to us.
This morning's closing.
We have so many different people basically within the family, and it's not a weird thing to see one of us at somebody's house for a birthday or a housewarming party or somebody's christening or whatever the family situation is. One of us will get a phone call, or all of us will get a phone call, and next thing you know, like, I have to go to this person's party, this one's baptism, another wedding, all kinds of stuff. So be prepared. The other thing I would also say in this line of business, you have to be sociable.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to be a people person. If
Yeah.
you're not a people person, then this
Well,
is
I
not
can't
good.
even, it's hard to get people to buy something $5 to $10. Can you imagine selling homes? Like,
Well,
you're right.
it's not that you're selling, you're providing a service. That's the
Oh,
other
see
thing.
that?
You
See,
can't
so that means I would fail in this.
No,
Right?
it's just wording the word that you just said.
Yeah.
Just rewording it. It's you're looking to help people, so you have to ask questions. You have to be very engaging. Just like you're interviewing us, we're interviewing our clients, and the clients are interviewing us. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
The other thing I just wanted to add is you have to be willing to put in the time to learn your market, to learn what historically has happened in various markets, to see what's going on now. It's just to study your craft.
Yeah.
And also invest in yourself so that you can be the best person to help the family that's in front of you.
And so I have a question. So are you prepared to share, not today, but like when you're meeting with clients, to talk about, you know, is there steering happening? Is there blockbusting happening? Is there red light? Like, how deep do you go?
We always leave that to the client to decide where they want to go. We don't do any of that stuff. Obviously, it's illegal.
Yep.
But one of the things we're monitored basically throughout the country basically when it comes to these things, and we tell our clients straight up, I can't tell you where to live.
Right.
You tell me what you're looking for, what price range you're looking for, and I'll point out here on the map, this is where all this stuff is available. You have to pick. You have to make your decision.
Right.
And everybody who knows this about me knows everything's always related to food with me. So whenever you're picking a location, I'll always tell my clients, look, I want you to go 3 different times in this area. Breakfast, lunch, and you figure out what the third one is.
Right,
Dinner.
right.
You go around those areas and you see, is this an area that I feel comfortable with? Is this an area that my kids can walk around and play? If you feel comfortable, then guess what? That might be your area.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gonna make the final decision.
Yeah.
But with all the stuff that you just mentioned, I'm not trying to steer away from the question.
Yep.
But it's ultimately the individual's gonna decide where they wanna be.
Yep.
I'm just a guiding hand, I'm just, all right, based on what you told me what you want, here's the options. Let's figure out basically where you wanna go
Yeah.
and take it from there.
And the reason I brought that up is because many people, when they come to real estate professionals, they don't know these things, right? So they are completely reliant upon what is happening. And so there could be
Yes.
potentially some illegal activity going on that they would never know how to identify because they're not exposed to these terminologies. So
Right.
just really interesting to share that. So from your viewpoint, Tashana, you're out there, what do you find to be the most common barriers with people that are trying to get into homes and maybe having a hard time? Is it credit? Is it access to capital? Is it, talk to us about what you feel the barriers are.
I think the number one thing is fear and overthinking.
Wow.
Because a lot of people, buying a home is a huge investment. And we sit with them, we educate people, and at the same time, the fear of uncertainty, right?
Mhm.
And you would find that if it's a couple, one of them wants to pull the trigger and the other one is trying to say, oh my gosh, can we afford to pay the mortgage? Can we afford to live life and still own a home? And the answer is yes. When you have to do it, you do it, and you do it quite comfortable. But that's the number one thing, overcoming that, just pulling the trigger and do what you have to do. Credit, access to funds and all of that, that's quite easy because we have so much offers and we have so much options that's out there for you. You just have to take the first step.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I did, so I'm so glad that you answered that way, because I was thinking of answering it just with here's how down payment assistance works and stuff
Yeah.
like that. People are different, everyone's different, that's why, when we meet with people, we learn to ask a lot of questions, so we can learn the most that we can learn about them, to
Yeah.
see if, are you fearful, or is it a financial thing, or is it some
Right.
combination of both, and then we can better be able to help you
Yeah.
and to guide you.
No.
I think it all goes back to what I said originally. When you're meeting with a real estate professional, I implore this to everybody, you should take the time to do a consultation with that person.
Mhm.
A lot of people just wanna go out and look at houses, that's great, but that's not gonna help you buy the home. The professional has to know exactly what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
And your whole family has to be involved also. If it's husband and wife, or whatever the combination is, everybody has to be at the consultation, because sometimes we've been doing this for a few years. The husband might want one thing and the wife wants something completely different and is not on the same page.
Right.
And that can deter and take a little longer to find the exact home, since we don't know exactly what everybody's gonna compromise on,
Yeah.
what the family unit actually wants altogether.
Yeah.
And another thing that's great in having a consultation is you have the entire family together. And once you know the number of what you're qualified for on your monthly mortgage and
Right.
you're comfortable with that, a lot of people come in with the fantasy and reality. So we have to line it up together to get them on the same page.
That's a really important point. So I want to shift a little bit because there's been a lot of media attention around flipping houses and some fraudulent activity in different places. Is that a real thing? The return on investment? So anyone can jump in here. What is this flipping houses reality or not?
Flipping, I'm gonna be honest, in New York, if you're buying a home to live in, do it. If you're looking to buy a home, making an investment, if this is your first time, I would suggest don't do it in New York,
Okay.
do it in another state. Someplace that has better return on investment when it comes to you as a landlord, because basically the landlord laws here are very strict here in New York. What I would say is basically when you buy the property, before you buy the property, you have to do your research on the area. You gotta see pretty much what's the activity like in that area, in that specific area. Is there a lot of markets, is there schools and stuff like that? So you have to do research as if you're gonna be moving into that home, because when you do rent it out, just in case things happen in life, you might have a tenant, it doesn't work out, and you need to replace that tenant, so you gotta make sure, is this in a desirable neighborhood that I can easily get another tenant in here? And so you have to look at those things as well. There's a lot of other formulas also when it comes to buying, and you gotta figure out if you're gonna hold the property, if you're just gonna buy it, hold on to it. This is one of the things I'm telling my clients to do now. They've bought their home already, their kids are out, they're in college. This is an idea that I was talking to one of my friends about. Your kids are in college, let's say they're in Atlanta. They just started, or like halfway, almost done. Why don't you buy a house in Atlanta? There's free room and board for your kid. You're also teaching them to be a landlord, homeowner. If it's a big house, they rent out the other rooms. do what you gotta do with that, they're a homeowner. When they graduate, they have a house for themselves, because it's already paying off basically, because you're already getting the rent from that, from the income from that. If they choose, all right, we're finished, we graduated, we're going somewhere else, you still have that property, you still got income coming from that property. If you decide, hey, you know what, this is bringing me good cash flow, I'm gonna decide to go buy another property, and more cash flow. I'm trying to plant these seeds in my clients' heads.
Right.
You can be a homeowner, and you can also be a landlord, you can own many homes if that's what you want.
Right.
But you have to do your own research
Yeah.
where you wanna be.
Mhm.
And I think you have to look at all, like everyone was saying with Atlanta versus New York, or Georgia, versus New York State. I think you have to look at the state and the community and the
Yeah.
county laws.
Mhm.
Because in some places it's harder to,
Yeah.
like if you wanna open an Airbnb, they're not always gonna be allowed
That's
in
very
every
popular
area.
right now.
Right.
Airbnb.
But some areas
Are they
are,
still though, Airbnb?
In New York, not so
Not
much.
so much as it was before.
But a lot of people are talking about that a lot, so you have to do your research on Airbnb and whatever the competitors are, if that's allowed in that specific town that you're considering, so always do your own research.
Yeah, and so in your line of work, as you're working with clients, one of the things that I often deal with as a homeowner myself, and I'm in Facebook groups and I see this question goes around, when it's time to get home repairs on roofing, things like that, there are so many people out here.
Yes,
And it's almost like you don't know what to do, you don't know how to vet vendors correctly. What is the best advice for people?
depending on the vendor, most of them have associations that they're involved in. There's stuff like Yelp and there's different things that you can look at to see the rating score. Number one thing I would say is reach out to your realtor or reach out to friends and family who actually use the service.
Mhm.
If they give you a glowing review, then that might be somebody you wanna interview. You're interviewing everybody regardless.
we have,
Yeah.
as a team from real estate, we have an extensive vendor list. But
Oh,
how
that's
did
good.
people get on our list? They did a good job.
That's
I
good.
didn't, for, let's say, a real estate attorney, just for argument's sake, or a roofer. The only way that we got to meet them is we have a client, let's say a roofer, and they just got a new roof, and I'll ask them who the roofer is. Okay, were you satisfied with them? Yes, they were fantastic. I mean, then I start looking at their reviews and see if that's someone to refer. The same with real estate attorneys, with insurance companies, with anything. And it usually comes from somebody that's had an experience with them, it went well, and then we refer them as long as we keep getting a good,
Yeah,
further
yeah. So,
experience.
and thank you for sharing that. And so, Tashana, you're out there on the front lines, selling properties, talking. Tell me how competitive the landscape is right now with other realtors and so talk to Tri-State about that.
And for me, I don't really consider other realtors as competitors because I feel as though the pie is big enough for all of us.
Mhm.
So I am outworking everybody.
Okay, what is this team called?
Team nonstop working.
Team nonstop working, NWE.
Yes.
I promise you, okay.
And if I could add one thing about it is all three of us, we are geared towards educating ourselves and bettering ourselves every day. We're all in coaching and we work nationwide and even international with realtors all over. So if you want to do an investment property or you want to buy a property, you want to sell a property, we have a network of agents that's capable and more than valuable to us to help you too.
That's good to hear, that's good to hear. And so do you all work with estate planning?
I'm glad you brought that up. We actually do have a webinar coming up this month on
November 15th.
November 15th.
Okay.
You guys want this one, you know, plug it?
Well, yeah, it's Will's Trust and Estate, gentleman.
Okay.
Are we allowed to mention his name?
Well, we just did.
Basically, we do this every quarter.
Yeah.
We have a couple, most of the ones that we've done in the past are on my YouTube channel,
Okay,
which is Evans Saint-Gerard Realtor, or you can just type in my name on Google, on YouTube, and you'll find my stuff there.
So it's a common what happens, it's the common questions that people should ask.
yeah,
And we don't want somebody to wait till something is too late, till they explore anything.
Yeah.
So we try to put everything out in front of people, Will's Trust Estates, financial planning, everything like that. I mean, it's great to start at a young age,
yeah.
and I don't think
And so
people
for
know
people
that.
who are listening, tell what falls under the umbrella of estate planning?
Just knowing the difference between a will and a trust.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to something I said before. You have to have conversations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, especially in our community, we don't have these conversations with our parents, with our grandparents, because it's kind of considered rude, especially in Caribbean, I'm Haitian. In Caribbean, especially a Haitian household, you don't ask mom and dad basically these kind of questions. I'm pretty sure it's similar to most people of a certain age, I'm 50, and I still don't like having this conversation. But because I've been doing these seminars, these webinars for a while, I know that I have to ask these questions. Because God forbid if something does happen to my loved ones, I need to know, all right, what do we have in plan if something happens? Who takes care of this? Who takes care of that? Who's going to move along when it comes to these things? And you have to have the conversation so that you're not caught unaware. And the estate planning is very simple. It's a difficult conversation to have, but once you have it, you have the plan, you have a peace of mind.
You're knowledgeable.
You're knowledgeable, and you know that pretty much all the family members, unfortunately I see this a lot, family members like to fight, or they do fight when someone does pass away. You have one kid is taking care of the parent the most, and others basically, disappeared from the family, and now that mom and dad are no longer here, and now they want to come in and take over. But if you have a plan, mom and dad made the plan, everybody's on the same page, we know exactly what their wishes were, and you just follow the plan.
And then financial literacy is so important, and even if you're not fully financially literate, there are people that can help you and guide you, and you work with them and let them teach you this stuff.
So when is this webinar again?
It's November 15, 6:30 to 7:30.
And how can people sign up or be a part of this?
It's very easy. You can either text me on my cell phone, which is 917-975-5985. Just text me.
That's fast.
I'm
Okay,
sorry, I'll do it
let's
slower.
rerun that.
I'm a New Yorker. 917-975-5985. Or you can email me at teamnwe@gmail.com. That's teamnwe@gmail.com. Just email or text, let us know that you're interested in the seminar, the webinar, and we'll forward you the information where you can register. And it will be recorded, so if you do miss it on the 15th, we'll send you a copy as well. Just email or text us.
Wonderful. So I want to thank these amazing real estate professionals here today. Thank you so much for joining teamnwe@gmail.com. November 15th, there's an amazing opportunity for you to tap in and to just get some information and to connect to this team. I want to thank you for joining Conversations on the Block. Tri-State, as we begin to close out, I'm going to encourage you to follow me on Instagram at Convos on the Block. I hope that you have been educated today and that you are feeling more informed to walk away, knowing that we have these amazing real estate professionals that are passionate, dedicated, and focused about your well-being at hand. So thank you so much, my friends. Be well. Make sure that you tune in next week and be back here. And you know what? You guys are going to come back here and do another session.
I
Definitely.
would love to.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, because you're now Team NWE. I want to be a part of this thing.
You can. We are taking applications.
Thank you so much, and Tri-State, you have a wonderful Sunday.